Thank you very much. Right, we move now to the Community Organisation Loan Scheme applications. Welcome, Sam and Gary. So we have two of these today. We'll take them one, then the other. Okay, so if you could briefly take us through firstly the Netzel one, that would be great.
Sure, so kia ora koutou. To just introduce, I guess, the loan scheme as a reminder, it's been in play for many years, longer than I'm able to look up and actually see, but I know as far as back as 2007, but probably earlier. The fund that's kind of earmarked as available sits at around 3.1 million. And that slowly grows as groups repay with their interest over time. Currently loaned out is about 1 million of that. Now this is a rates neutral scheme where the cost of borrowing is covered by the borrowers, and its purpose is for community not-for-profit organisations to improve or develop facilities and other major projects which may be in a unique situation, for example, not owning the land that they're on, and therefore typical financing isn't available. So.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions? Initially, any questions on the loan scheme itself generally? None of those? Okay. So Melanie on the Netzel. You go on. Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm struggling to understand is why Netzel are asking for a loan, which I understand it's a loan and not asking for a grant, but when they already have quite a lot of money already.
Mm-hmm. So the proposed cost of what they're looking to build, which is the 10-court facility, along with sort of office space, which would be in a mezzanine floor type scenario, is estimated to be 20 million. And obviously that's quite a lot for these groups to raise, so this loan forms part of that.
Right. Okay.
Any other questions on this one? No, Jake. Happy to move it. Yeah, we might do these completely separately. So Jake and Tim, happy to move and second resolutions 1 and 2. I might just put those first and then we'll move to the other one. All those in any debate? No. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Any against?
Yeah. Aye.
Melanie? Aaron?
I'll abstain from this.
Okay.
Thanks.
No, I'm
Okay, so
definitely for this.
yes. Okay. And yes from Aaron. Okay, I declare that carried. Thank you very much. Right, so we'll move to the Food Resilience Network cold shell phase of the Otakoro Orchard. Tim's happy to move. And Mike's happy to second, and Sam's got a question.
Look, I just wonder if you can talk me through, reading through it, the concern that you guys seem to have quite rightly highlighted is the ability to repay it. So can you talk me through how you got to a point where you've got to a recommendation of this, and if there's a comfort level over whether this is in fact a grant or a loan long term?
Sure. There's always some uncertainty with loans, of course. The group is able to provide a level of security, although it is a community facility. Its value is a great deal more than $150,000. And so that is one path to repayment. Also, the group's done a lot of work in the last 12 months around its governance, leadership, and general, I guess, direction, which gives us a bit more surety that they're going to be able to put the things in place to introduce enough revenue through some hire of this facility over time. And they do have a significant wide base of support, which for possible philanthropic work, which isn't traditionally how we like to get our loans repaid, but that's part of their plan to repay that over time.
So
ongoing philanthropic support.
So we're saying that the ability to repay will be conditional on grants from other organisations.
that's part of their plan to repay. Yeah.
Okay.
So not necessarily grants, but philanthropic sponsorship, etc. From the business community in that area.
Right, and so we're comfortable with that. Well, the other thing I was trying to understand, and look, I may have missed in the report, is so the level of security, like the recommendation says, over the facility or equivalent instrument. What would the? Is it literally buildings, or what's the? Because I mean, I guess where I'm going with it is, are we going to get 7 years down the line and then say they can't repay it? We have a security over their building, but in reality, we're not going to shut them down, are we?
That's part of the issue we've faced with some of the community loans when they come to this point. So far in the history of the community loan stream, we've been able to keep working with organisations, as we did last month by resetting some of the loan terms so that over time they're still covering the interest costs and eventually paying the loan off. So it would probably if they were struggling for repayment, it could play out in that type of manner. But council would have choices. Yeah.
So just one last one, Sarah. So then, is it appropriate that it goes through a loan scheme? Should it not be considered in another pot for a grant? I mean, I just don't have any comfort that we're going to get that money back.
Right. Oh, well, I mean, that's a decision for yourselves to make. We're not familiar with
let me put it. So the process in which it's got to this point,
Yeah.
did they apply for a loan? Did we talk to them about going down a grant avenue, recognising it may even be less?
So they applied for a loan. I'm not familiar with a grant pool which they would be eligible to this type of level, and there's some urgency around this in terms of the state that the facility is in, and the desire to get it to cold shell, and in the absence of other grant funding pools, they've applied for a loan and believe they can repay it.
Sam, can I check? Are you interested in the potential for switching this to some sort of grant? And would you be comfortable with us not to, if we approved this today, and then looked at the grant scheme and whether that could just repay ourselves, if you like, through
what
that?
I'm more interested, and sorry, I don't want to take up much time, but even just in Sam's comments, then they're comfortable in their ability to repay. What I want to know, and what's not in the report, is our comfort over whether they can repay it, which isn't there.
Yeah.
So look, I'm happy. I might be a minority, and it's fine.
Yeah,
but
okay.
I just think it's a bit of a problem.
Pauline?
Yeah.
Well, just on that, the 770 odd thousand that's listed in here as donations, is that philanthropic? It's not other community, not other funding organisations that have funded? Because you've got, I think you've got RATA listed there, but the 777 is just donations?
I believe that's a combination of fundraising and philanthropic type donations. It's not from grant organisations.
Yes, so that does prove that they do have a reach and they can actually attract that sort of philanthropic funding. And I guess that's where you come from in feeling secure that they can pay this back. They can meet the repayments.
Yeah. And I guess one of the things is they chose to ask for a loan so that they could pay it back rather than choosing to ask for a grant.
Yes.
I think we have to be careful as staff saying we feel secure. Of course, we can see there's an aspect of risk in these
It's not for
loan
profit. I mean,
applications.
it's always going to be.
And we try and provide you with some good information on the level of that risk, and really it falls to yourselves to decide whether to go ahead with that. But we felt that the 150 recommendation was balancing the risk versus the benefit and the hope for repayment.
Thank you, that's the answer I was looking for.
Thank you. Any further questions? No, so we've got a mover and a seconder for this one. Do we have any debate? Sam?
Really quickly, look, I won't be supporting it, and it's really around that ability to repay. I'm not saying they shouldn't be entitled to some form of money, but I think if we are looking at this stuff and we can't get a high degree of confidence over that ability to repay, we should be looking at how we triage that through other mechanisms within the organisation. So I can't support it today knowing it's a loan, because let's be very clear to the ratepayers of the city that in time this will effectively become a grant. And so I can't. Yeah.
No, sorry, Sam.
Oh.
Yeah. Pauline and then Leanne. Sorry.
Yeah, look, I'm supportive of this today. This is a response from the Share an Idea, as it says in the report, to establish a community garden in the north frame of the Avon River. This is a community-led anchor project look, we've got to get in behind and support this. I'm confident they'll be able to pay it back. There's a good bunch of people behind this, and I think it's going to be an incredible asset to our city with the orchard in there, all the food growing, and it's going to be an educational hub. 150,000 loan towards this is minimal. I believe that they will pay it off. I think there's going to be an incredible buzz around this place, so I'll be supporting it today, and I can't wait for it to be finished.
Thanks, Deanne.
Yeah, I think this organisation has demonstrated its capacity to fundraise in a way social enterprises do, using the internet. I own a little tree in their community garden, and it's a feijoa tree because I happen to like feijoas. But the concept of food resilience really does take us into the 21st century. It is something, you know, we're the Garden City. What that means in the 21st century is quite different from what it meant. It's not just about the flowers and the parks and the gardens. It's actually about food resilience. That is our future, and food security is a global issue, and having neighbourhood generated support, and this orchard has been supported by Otakaro, so it's had government support as well, but the amount of community support is highly significant, and I know that if they got into the position where they couldn't repay the funds, they would simply ask the thousands of Christchurch residents and other New Zealanders who want to see it succeed. So I'm very confident in its capacity to repay.
Thank you. Melanie, then Tim.
For this, I believe that there's a lot of good points that are in the decision matrix to support it. You know, even though there is some risk, you know, there are a collaboration of over 50 local organisations. It fits with our draft climate change strategy, which is one of our strategic, you know, priorities for council. It also fits with our Edible and Sustainable Garden Awards. I mean, we all know this, so I'm happy for this one to accept the risk.
Thank you. Tim?
Yeah, thank you. I think this does fit and tick a lot of boxes. And with looking at the calibre of the trustees, etc., and those connected with it, I don't have any concerns about the payback. They're highly skilled, respected individuals in the city who have great contacts, and if anyone can get some philanthropic and support, etc., I'm sure they can. So I haven't got a problem with this at all. It's just a shame that the interest on the $150,000 loan won't even be enough to cover the maintenance on the pool sculpture.
Thank you very much. Any further debate? No? Okay, and with that, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Any against? Just Sam. I could declare that